Hey everyone! So today we're going to tear apart a word we use all the time, probably without even thinking about it, normal. We're going to get into its hidden layers and figure out what it actually means to be normal. So let me just start with a really direct question for you. Are you normal? Seriously, take a second. What's your immediate gut reaction? Is it a yes, a no, or maybe I don't know? If you found that a little tough to answer, you are definitely not alone. Because as we're about to find out, normal isn't some simple yes or no question. It is a surprisingly deep, super complex idea that pretty much shapes our entire world. Okay, let's get into it. To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to deconstruct what we're even talking about when we say that word. It turns out we're usually juggling two completely different ideas at the same time. Okay, so here's the crucial split. On one side, you've got the statistical norm. This is just math, right? It's what's average or most common, like the average height in a population. But then on the other side, you have the social norm. This is about what a society decides is good or proper, like using good table manners. And here's the kicker. What's statistically common and what's socially desirable are not always the same thing, not even close. And it's these social norms, well, they're the real powerhouse behind our whole idea of normality. They're like these invisible scripts that guide everything we do, from how we dress for a meeting to how we act at a party. They aren't written down anywhere, but boy, we feel their pull every single day. So if these unwritten rules are so incredibly powerful, where do they come from? What are they even for? Well, this brings us to what we can call the two faces of normality. It's both a tool for bringing us together and for keeping us in line. I mean, really, why do we as human beings create these powerful, invisible rules of conduct? What's the point of it all? And right here, you can see the trade-off. On the plus side, norms make our world predictable. They help us know what to expect from each other, which creates safety and a feeling of belonging. But, and this is a big but, that exact same force can turn ugly. It can exclude people who don't fit in, create this crushing pressure to be just like everyone else, and even stamp out creativity and new ideas. I absolutely love this quote. It just nails that whole duality, doesn't it? A cage is safe, sure, it's predictable, it gives you structure, but at the end of the day, it's still a cage. It limits how far you can go and who you can be. But here's the really wild part. That cage, it isn't made of steel. Its bars are constantly moving. What we think of as normal isn't some fixed point. It is always, always changing. And this timeline just shows it perfectly. I mean, think about it. In the 1950s, if you had a tattoo, you were a rebel, an outsider. Today, they're everywhere. It's just mainstream body art. A generation ago, talking about your anxiety was totally taboo. Now, it's often seen as a sign of being self-aware and strong. And don't even get me started on remote work. What was once a rare perk is now completely normal for millions of us. It just goes to show how fast these social rules can get a complete rewrite. So, the most important takeaway here is this. There is no single, objective, capital N, normal. It just doesn't exist. What's considered normal is just a story that a specific group of people in a specific place at a specific time have all kind of agreed to believe. And any story can be rewritten. And this is why all of this matters so much for you. The second you see that normal is a man-made thing, not a law of nature, you get this incredible power. The power to look at the unwritten rules in your own life and start asking questions. Hey, does this rule still make sense? Who is this helping? And do I even agree with it anymore? Which really leaves us with one final fascinating thing to think about. If that line of what's considered normal is always being redrawn, who gets to hold the pencil next? Is it the creators, the innovators, the activists? Or is it us, all of us, deciding together what kind of world we want to build? Now that's something worth chewing on.